The live broadcast of The View began like any other weekday episode, filled with laughter, light banter, and casual conversation meant to ease viewers into the morning. The studio buzzed with excitement as Meryl Streep made her grand entrance, greeted by thunderous applause from the audience. Known for her elegance, intelligence, and legendary career, Meryl sat down with a warm smile, thanking the hosts for having her. At first, the conversation focused on her latest film, her decades-long journey in Hollywood, and her passion for storytelling. Everything felt polished and controlled. However, beneath the surface, subtle signs of tension were already present. The topic slowly shifted from entertainment to cultural responsibility in Hollywood, a subject that often sparks strong opinions. Cameras zoomed in on the panel as the mood subtly changed. What was supposed to be a friendly discussion was quietly transforming into something much more intense, setting the stage for an unexpected and unforgettable confrontation. Joy Behar, known for her outspoken personality and sharp humor, took the lead in steering the discussion towards celebrity activism. She spoke passionately about how famous figures influence public opinion and argued that remaining silent on social issues was no longer acceptable. Meryl listened carefully, her posture composed, hands folded neatly in her lap. At first, she nodded respectfully, signaling she understood Joy's perspective. Yet viewers noticed her expression tighten slightly, as if weighing her response carefully. Joy continued, emphasizing that Hollywood elites had both privilege and responsibility. The audience reacted with mixed murmurs, sensing disagreement brewing. Meryl's eyes briefly shifted toward the other hosts, perhaps hoping the topic would move on. Instead, Joy doubled down, pushing her argument further. The atmosphere grew heavier by the second, and it became clear that Meryl was no longer comfortable simply listening. The calm, controlled tone of the show began slipping away as a clash of philosophies slowly emerged. When Meryl finally spoke, her voice was steady but carried undeniable weight. She calmly explained that while she believed in standing up for important causes, she rejected the idea that artists owed constant public statements on every issue. She spoke about the importance of personal reflection, nuance, and respecting individual choices. Her words were thoughtful, measured, and deeply personal. The audience fell silent, listening closely. For a moment, it seemed like the conversation might regain balance. However, Joy's reaction was immediate. She leaned forward, clearly unconvinced, and questioned whether silence from powerful voices contributed to ongoing problems. The exchange quickly shifted from respectful disagreement to pointed debate. Meryl's calm demeanor remained, but her facial expressions revealed frustration. She emphasized that not all meaningful work happens in front of cameras. The clash of ideals, public accountability versus private conviction, now sat at the center of the discussion, gripping everyone watching live. Joy responded sharply, suggesting that Hollywood often hides behind sophistication to avoid difficult conversations. Her tone grew more aggressive, and she questioned whether discretion was simply another form of avoidance. The studio audience reacted audibly, some clapping while others gasped. Meryl inhaled deeply before replying, clearly trying to maintain composure. She reminded Joy of her long history of advocacy, philanthropy, and support for marginalized voices, much of which she had chosen to keep private. Her voice trembled slightly, not from weakness but from emotion. This was no longer a debate about ideology, it had become personal. Cameras caught the hosts exchanging nervous glances, unsure how to intervene. The conversation had crossed an invisible line, and both women were now defending their integrity. What began as a discussion about responsibility had evolved into a confrontation about respect, values, and the pressures placed on public figures. As the tension escalated, interruptions became frequent. Both women spoke over each other, their frustration spilling into the open. Joy accused Hollywood legends of enjoying applause while avoiding accountability. Meryl pushed back, stating that moral worth should not be measured by public performance. The energy in the room was electric and uncomfortable. Viewers at home could sense the authenticity of the moment. It didn't feel scripted or rehearsed. Meryl's usual grace was still present, but it was now accompanied by visible disappointment. She stressed that being constantly scrutinized was emotionally exhausting, even for someone with her experience. Joy remained unapologetic, insisting that fame came with unavoidable responsibility. The clash highlighted a deep divide in how celebrity influence is perceived. The studio audience sat frozen, aware they were witnessing something raw and rare on daytime television. One of the co-hosts attempted to step in, suggesting a commercial break or a shift in topic, but neither Meryl nor Joy seemed ready to let go. Meryl's voice grew firmer as she spoke about the unrealistic expectations placed on artists, particularly women, to be perfect moral figures. She spoke about burnout, emotional labor, and the human cost of constant judgment. Her words resonated deeply, and some audience members nodded in agreement. Joy, however, stood her ground, arguing that discomfort was a small price to pay for social progress. The conversation felt less like a talk show segment and more like a philosophical standoff. The tension was palpable, hanging heavy in the studio air. This wasn't entertainment anymore, it was a collision of lived experiences and uncompromising beliefs. At this point, Meryl paused, visibly collecting herself. Her eyes glistened slightly under the bright studio lights. She thanked Joy for her perspective, but stated clearly that the discussion had crossed into territory she found dismissive and unfair. Her voice softened, but the message was unmistakable. She spoke about mutual respect, even in disagreement, and expressed disappointment at how quickly the conversation had turned confrontational. The audience remained silent, sensing something significant was about to happen. Joy attempted to respond, but Meryl gently raised her hand, signaling she needed to finish. That simple gesture carried enormous weight. It marked the moment when Meryl decided she would no longer participate in a discussion that felt hostile rather than constructive. Meryl then addressed the audience directly, thanking them for their support and acknowledging the importance of open dialogue. However, she made it clear that she believed conversations should be rooted in understanding, not accusation. She removed her microphone carefully, a symbolic act that sent a wave of shock through the studio. The hosts sat stunned as Meryl stood up, her posture dignified despite the emotional intensity of the moment. Cameras struggled to keep up as producers scrambled behind the scenes. The audience didn't know whether to applaud or remain silent. It was a powerful, unexpected moment, one that blurred the line between performance and reality. Meryl gave a brief nod to the hosts and walked off the set, leaving behind a stunned silence. Within minutes, social media erupted. Clips of the exchange spread rapidly, with viewers analyzing every word, gesture, and facial expression. Fans of Meryl praised her composure and honesty, calling her walk-off a powerful stand for personal boundaries. Others sided with Joy, arguing that public figures must be held accountable, even when conversations get uncomfortable. Hashtags related to the incident trended worldwide, and entertainment news outlets rushed to cover the fallout. Speculation ran wild. Was the clash planned, or did it spiral out of control? Experts debated whether this moment marked a shift in how celebrity discussions unfold on live television. Regardless of perspective, one thing was certain: the incident had struck a cultural nerve. In the days that followed, the fictional clash between Meryl Streep and Joy Behar became one of the most talked-about moments in Hollywood television history. It sparked broader conversations about fame, responsibility, and the emotional toll of public life. While neither side issued immediate statements, the moment continued to resonate with audiences worldwide. It served as a reminder that even icons are human, capable of frustration, vulnerability, and firm boundaries. The incident blurred the illusion of polished celebrity culture, revealing the raw emotions underneath. Whether viewed as a courageous stand or a missed opportunity for dialogue, the clash left a lasting impression. In the end, it wasn't just about two powerful women disagreeing, it was about the complex reality of living and speaking in the spotlight.